and welcome to the LDV Vision Summit. I'm honored that you're all here. This is an exciting annual event now, and my first time with this clicker today. So what's unique about this group is many different things. But first, we'd love you to take as many pictures, because it's a visual event. Tweet as often as possible. Share your wisdom. And then I'm going to pick some of those tweets of the most interesting tweets and share them on stage and highlight you. So it's all about collaborating and helping each other. That's mine, LDV Vision Summit, and the hashtag on the right if you guys like that. Visual technologies are revolutionizing business and humanity. We've been talking about this at this summit for 3 years now. But what's unique about this summit, and very ambitious goal, I think, and we struggle with it, but I think it's the right goal because of the results we've seen. And that's to bring the 6 different groups together that usually don't gather at these events. The creators usually have their events. The startups and investors usually have their events. Technology execs, computer vision experts go to CVPR and other great conferences, and the media and brand execs. But nobody tries to bring everybody together. Because what's unique is the startups are looking for funding, but they're also looking to recruit computer vision people. Or they're looking to sell their services to the media execs. The media execs are trying to learn more about what's happening in the cutting edge. And what's unique in the past years is that people have found new jobs. They've raised a lot of different capital from many different companies. And they're finding co-founders. And hopefully that's what this is all about. It's about helping each other succeed and learning about how visual technology is empowering and disrupting all of us. So today is more of a deep dive on technology. Tomorrow is more product and business, but each day will interact with how it impacts us as people. As I mentioned, these things are what makes this successful, all of these different kind of activities. I couldn't have done this alone, and I didn't do this alone. And thanks to fantastic collaborators, Rebecca from Cakeworks. Where's Rebecca? Rebecca is in the back, and Serge is over here from Cornell Tech. Thank you very much. Additionally, every year we not only photograph, thank you, Robert, right over here. We videotape from Hybrid in the back, and all of the sessions will be online. And we also publish a book every year, because everybody enjoys media in different ways, and I'm not the judge of how you might want to learn and enjoy that content. Of course, we couldn't have done it with all our fantastic sponsors. SVA for this theater and collaboration on content, ICP, and then AWS Activate's giving away $5,000 in credits for our competitors. Facebook, Fleur, GumGum, IDEA Ireland, Microsoft, Qualcomm, and Vidlet, and our media partners, Capture and VisWorld. We're going to have a graphic artist later. He went back to get another computer, but during the sessions, another level of medium to interact with. He's going to be creating art about all the sessions. IDEA Ireland sponsored the Wi-Fi. You guys have that information on your program. And okay, let's take a step back. A little bit about me, and I'm going to start the morning with my keynote and then move on to other people that are smarter than me. So I've been investing via LDV Capital for 4 years, an entrepreneur for 18, built 4 visual technology businesses, of which some succeeded and some failed, and hopefully learning every step along the way. A professional photographer and living in Silicon Valley, New York, and Europe. But what I get most excited about is investing in brilliant entrepreneurs that are solving problems with leveraging their deep domain expertise in visual tech. And that means anything that captures, analyzes, manages, publishes visual content, images or video. Or on the business side, it could be satellite imaging, medical imaging, autonomous cars. All of those we're going to talk about over these 2 days in detail because they all function leveraging visual content. As you can imagine, our focus as a fund is in all these categories. Basically, every session today is a potential category. A little bit of a perspective of the early stage companies. We get very, very early, and we look forward to finding great follow-on investors listed above, which is all online that you can take a look later. But what's unique is we also believe in the platform. It's a one-person fund, but we have the summit, and we built a hacker news for the visual technology community called LDV Vision News. We also organize monthly dinners where there's 700 entrepreneurs and investors that gather every month. And most importantly, in addition to being smart entrepreneurs and investors, it's half men and half women. Likewise, the speakers here, we are almost at 50-50. We're at 60-40, and my goal is 50-50. It's very hard to do in a sector specific, but we have some fantastic speakers today, and I think it's a very critical goal that we all focus on in everything that we do in life. Okay. So each year I try to bring a new big topic that I've been thinking about and focused in on investing. The latest one I published in the Next Web a couple weeks ago called the Internet of Eyes. It will allow all objects to see and hopefully improve our lives. Cameras will be everywhere. There's cameras in every one of your pockets on your camera phone. But let's think beyond that. What is the potential? It's not just a camera that we make a picture. Inanimate objects, I believe, will all have at least one, if not many, cameras. And hopefully, there'll be many use cases that it improves our lives. Yeah, it might be a little scary, but it really will, in my mind, improve our lives. We're here, we know visual content is valuable. This photo of a wedding is valuable. But actually, visual trends of photos tied together are even exponentially more valuable. But why now? In the last couple of years, there's been an exponential growth in real-time access to content, computer vision advancements, machine learning, AI, and most importantly, cloud infrastructure with scalable infrastructure that helps all of those other items work together. But even as a photographer, I've been a photographer since 13 years old. I still make pictures, but the camera's not the goal in my mind. It's a means to an end. The goal is better understanding our lives. But the most important feature on your phone is the camera. I'm biased, we all might be biased, but it's not just us that think that. There's a big company called Apple that believes that, and that's the main feature that they promote to sell their products. Today we have one camera, maybe two, one in the back, one in the front on our phone. Soon we're going to have two cameras on the back and one on the front. And then soon after that, we're going to have many cameras on our phone. This is part of Light, but it's a separate camera. Eventually it's going to be on the phone. Eventually, and I don't mean eventually 50 years, I think maybe in 5 years, 8 years, we're going to have the casing of the phone will be one large or multiple sensors that will be used for many different opportunities. Okay, objects. The thing we see every single morning and every night most likely is a mirror. There are some projects that have the weather starting to come on the mirror, maybe the news. But really where it's going to go is this. There'll be multiple thermal sensors, camera sensors, and others that will actually track weight loss and weight gain, depression, happiness. I hope it'll say, hey, Evan, what you've done in the last week is trending towards decreasing your life by 10 years. Okay? Or improving it. And then it's going to be a constant tracking for good and for bad. But that is going to watch us. Forget about privacy of Big Brother and all that. How does it help us? There we go. Obviously, on the left, some watches already have cameras and video cameras. Apple patented a 2mm camera. I bet you it's going to be on the phone. It might be underneath it to track heart rate. It might be on top of it to do FaceTime or to be your new camera. Robotic imaging, another sector that's huge. Historically, very, very small percent of robots are smart. Today, more, but still a very small percent. But robots like this, from an Australian tech group, will go in and out of the rows of a fruit farm with a LiDAR camera, a thermal camera, gamma sensors, and actually track how many apples are on the tree. Maybe even soon how healthy they are, how healthy the fruit is. And there's others that will actually be able to adjust insecticide or other nutrients depending on the look of a fruit. Obviously, we talk about robots in the home and elsewhere. I would hate to have a robot cooking next to a kid eating a watermelon, not realizing the watermelon's about to drop on the stove. If that robot can't see and analyze with computer vision, it will not exist. Delivery, obviously a famous movie, but AI and robots, they have to see. Our lives, every single day, are at least 90% visual interaction on many, many levels. Automobiles. Why do I need a key? I should just be able to look at the car and it knows if I am the owner, or if I gave permission remotely to somebody else to drive, or if I'm too drunk, I shouldn't drive and it won't turn on the car. Or sentiment analysis within the computer vision of those cameras will know, hey, that Uber driver is really angry and I don't want to get in that car that's about to show up, or I want him to let me out right now. Or interacting, saying you're about to get in an accident because you're really hyper-aggressive and your heart rate is moving too fast. Slow down. I'd rather know before rather than after. Another sector that's huge for opportunities is visually mapping our world. This is what cameras in cars are starting to do for years at Google and other companies in order to map our world. Take it to the next level where we know the license plate, we know the traffic car, we know the buildings. This is actually what it looks like. On the left is the vision of those cameras. What's interesting is it knows objects, it knows buildings. It can probably tell you that building has been renovated recently. Or soon, simultaneously, the mixture of that last photo and this, we know, in order to operate autonomous cars, is that bicyclist on the left heading toward me. But the key here is multiple signals, like we talked earlier. What if we now have a LiDAR on the car that can analyze that bicyclist? But we also have sentiment analysis that we mentioned earlier that knows if that bicyclist is angry and really going quickly, not just heading in my direction. These multiple signals are trends that will, I believe, help our lives, help each other, help businesses understand and hopefully improve our lives. Here's an example of a city street. Here's an example via the eye of an object or a camera on a wall. Tracks the people, tracks who's going in, tracks shopping bags. It could track how happy they are coming out with shopping bags. The next level, connected visual sensors. So not just a sensor on a car helping the car drive, but the sensor on a car talking to the sensors at our office or for security. Or tracking our heart rate. So what if that mirror is tracking our heart rate, and then via thermal photography, knowing the heart rate of all these people in the street, and then tracking in the office? Each one of these are interesting, different opportunities, or many opportunities. And the only way to analyze all this data, which will be exponentially more than we can even fathom, is with computers, computer vision, AI, and big infrastructure. And it's about actionable signals, better understanding our lives. Cameras are no longer just for memories. It's just the beginning. Carpe diem. And I definitely do not have all the answers, which is why we all work very hard to bring this together so I can hear and we can hear from people smarter than me and learn about how visual technologies are going to empower and disrupt business and humanity. And thank you very much.